Have you told?
I feel like whatever Leilani's story doesn't add up.
Well,
I've been talking with the baby's father, with Quentin's father. I've been talking with him all day yesterday, and he's already been questioned, and they've already went to his job and went to his home, and Quentin's not there, which is I didn't think he would be anyway. Why Leilani would even come up with a story like that, I don't even know.
that's your daughter.
Yes,
That's his mom.
yes.
Have you told?
I feel like whatever Leilani's story doesn't add up.
Well,
I've been talking with the baby's father, with Quentin's father. I've been talking with him all day yesterday, and he's already been questioned, and they've already went to his job and went to his home, and Quentin's not there, which is I didn't think he would be anyway.
Guys, hear me okay. A minute for it to catch up. We have a little bit of a lag. Yes or no, I know there's a lag. Really different, almost 3 weeks. All right. I'm back, just like that. Pat says, sound tunnel. Are you swimming in a pool? Nope. Just give it a minute. It'll catch up. I hate for even bring this up in the show because we know, like the first 10, 15 seconds, there's an issue with the audio. I have a new little apparatus thing for the side of my computer, and that wasn't the problem. Not the microphone. It's got to be something with StreamYard. But anyway, we'll just learn that the first 10, 15 seconds, I sound like I'm underwater. That's okay. So I'm going to play that clip again. Hold on.
Why Leilani would even come up with a story like that, I don't even know.
that's your daughter.
Yes,
That's his mom.
yes.
Have you told?
I feel like whatever Leilani's story doesn't add up.
Well,
I've been talking with the baby's father, with Quentin's father. I've been talking with him all day yesterday, and he's already been questioned, and they've already went to his job and went to his home, and Quentin's not there, which is I didn't think he would be anyway. Why Leilani would even come up with a story like that, I don't even know.
that's your.
Because she lied to you. Because she lied to you. You see, Billy, when you found out that Quentin was missing, you were lied to. It's insane. Came across this clip on Brett Buffington's Twitter. Between the jaw grinding and the whole 3 weeks ago, her knowing she was lied to. What the hell happened yesterday? You can't unring a bell. Let me welcome you guys really quick. I was in here chatting before the show. A lot of you are back from this show from this morning, Little Harmony Montgomery. That was, well, none of the shows are good, and not just because of me. But you know what we're talking about. We're talking about missing, murder, corruption. We're talking about all kinds of horrific things. But that show actually was trying to find out a way to phrase it without sounding like a callous person. It was nice to see the outcome of very, very hard, diligent work by law enforcement. Everybody's together. We were all on the same page. It's justice for Harmony. And it's going to get that way with Quentin. I promise it is. I promise. Those that have an issue with the way things are going, they're going to fall away. It happens in every case. And it's going to be us. It's going to be us still discussing the case, what is going on, when's the next court hearing, all of that stuff, just like we've been doing with Harmony. And then, of course, we hear yesterday murder charges on Teardrop. Murder charges on Teardrop. And soon we're going to hear murder charges on Leilani. Hello, Britt. I see you made it in. Angel P's here. Angel P. So it's really, really strange. Of course, I go back all the time, the first week, particularly of when things erupt, when the shit hits the fan, shall I say, I go back. So when I hear these clips of Billy grinding her jaw and just not having it, not going to listen to Leilani's bullshit. It's like, I'm stocked up on bullshit, Leilani. Go sell it somewhere else. That's how Billy was a few weeks ago. That was raw. I'm not having it, Billy. Now we have shots on Tybee Island. I think he drowned in the bathtub while Danny was getting Zane out. I wrote down just a few things that have transpired, and this is just a few. You guys will remember others. So just recently, we heard the bathtub theory. She believes that Quentin drowned when Danny, of course, it has to be Danny. It can't be Leilani. Leilani was probably, I think she said Leilani was probably cooking. Pioneer woman. She's in the kitchen whipping up a home-cooked meal, slaving over the stove. And as he's getting Zane out, Quentin drowns. It happened just that fast. That's what Billy said. Of course, we heard the story about the ADT sensors on someone's phone who doesn't live there showed that the door was ajar for roughly 3 hours. We have that. Came out in Daily Fail yesterday. Bubba gave an interview. Bubba Moss, who is supposedly Quentin's biological father. No, they do not have the same last names. She said that Quentin was with Bubba. Bubba had not seen his son forever and a day. Quentin probably wouldn't even recognize his voice. It'd be a stranger. He wouldn't know him. I'm not trying to make Bubba feel worse. The sad fact of the matter is about Bubba, besides the fact that he's alienated from his son, that's what I'm seeing, is that Leilani would have no issue with this man being in jail for something he didn't do and wouldn't do. So she blamed Bubba. We also have Diana. We've blamed Diana. You came in and got the kids all the time. How do we know you didn't get him that morning? Then we have what came out yesterday afternoon. I didn't jump in and do a live. I apologize. Sometimes I give myself a little bit of time to marinate, wait for us all to come together, and we can discuss it. We had another story yesterday on the show. Kelly was nice enough to grab the link. She came up and she had heard over this explosive weekend, which had nothing to do with Quentin Simon. We're here for Quentin Simon. That's what we're talking about, is Quentin Simon. But it comes out another excuse, another wrench got thrown in this insanity, that a nanny had been hired that was supposed to start the morning that he disappeared. The odds. What are the odds? Supposedly Diana was fired. We fired Diana. Diana didn't sound too fired to me. She sounded fired up. But with everything that Diana has said, she never has mentioned they fired me the day before. You fire somebody the day before, you don't need to tell them not to show up the next morning. This isn't just any regular old nanny either. This was going to be a 24/7 live-in nanny. A regular old Mary Poppins, okay? Gonna do the cooking, the cleaning, bathe the children, the grocery shopping, live-in nanny. That's what was supposed to transpire the morning of October 5th. Thank you, Kat, like a Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah. Where is Mary Poppins? Where is Mystery Nanny? Everybody else is talking except for Mystery Nanny and Danny. Nanny and Danny aren't talking. Probably because Danny has a lot to hide and Mystery Nanny doesn't exist. This person does not exist. Just like there was no Zanny the Nanny with Kaylee Anthony, there's no Mary Poppins that was moving into this home in Savannah, Georgia, the morning that Quentin Simon disappeared. Hang on. Where's Summer 800 TBI find? Where's Summer has been all over this before I even hit live on my first show about Quentin. She already had it sized up. She said, where was the nanny at 5 o'clock in the morning when Billy Joe? Where the F was the nanny? Okay, exactly. Hello, Connie. Good afternoon. There's no nanny. Diana was not fired. Diana did not go in and just take Quentin. Think about this as well. If Diana's duty is to watch the 3 children, why the morning of October 5th would she just go get Quentin? She wouldn't. This is a made-up story. I'm not going to be surprised if this total lie wasn't told to the family court judge when Leilani and Billy went, as something to take the heat off of them. Because the news clip from last night fell real flat. There's only a couple people that said they can relate to Leilani. There's only a couple that I saw. There could be more. No, there's no nanny. So we have, I got to write that down. I'm running out of paper. So we have fake nanny. Fake nanny. Of course, they're blaming Danny. I'll give them that one. Danny might have definitely had something to do with this. Okay, door was open. We don't know what happened with the door, with the open door. We're just led to believe he went and got in the pool. Bathtub, Bubba, Diana, fake nanny, and Danny. All right. Combine all of these lies together. Combine them all. Combine them all. I don't care. It still doesn't correlate him being in a landfill with agents from Quantico going through it right now trying to find him. Even if the door was open for 3 hours on an app that was noticed by someone who doesn't live there, even if Quentin still shouldn't be in the landfill, even if there was an accident in the bathtub while Leilani was slaving over the stove to have a nice home-cooked meal for Danny, he's taking Zane out and Quentin drown in the bathtub, still does not equal to Quentin being in the landfill. Bubba, forget. That's ridiculous. Diana, no landfill. Fake nanny, shouldn't be a landfill. None of this. How did he wind up in the landfill? Somebody put him in a dumpster or a trash can. The chief said, and by normal means, meaning the trash truck drove to the landfill because somebody put little baby Quentin into a dumpster or a trash can. Britt said monsters. That's how. DC wants to know if it's okay to type in caps. Absolutely. I'm always in for work. I'm always in spreadsheets. And so I keep my, excuse me, I keep my caps lock on. So you guys probably see it in Discord all the time. So then I forget the caps lock is on and I go to have like a normal, make a comment or something. It looks like I'm yelling at people. I'm not. Rachel said, tip call said she waited outside for the garbage truck before calling 911. I heard about that myself. Wish the chief would say something about that. Wish the chief would say something about the fake nanny, but they are busy policing. They don't have time to answer my questions. That's for damn sure. Rowena's backstage, and then we're going to do some comments. We're going to go through the article from Daily Fail where they spoke exclusively with Bubba. And we're going to go through the interview with Leilani and Jaw Grinder. Hello, Rowena.
Hey, good morning. Can y'all hear me?
You sound very clear today. What's going on?
I don't have my earbuds in.
Well, I mean, it's not crackly or anything like that. You must not be in the garage.
It's a miracle. No, I'm laying down resting my back. We just had our last inspection, so I was like, I just gotta lay down and rest my back.
All
But
right, good. You get your back rested. So now, any other stories that you can think of? Now, don't forget that mom and daughter also. Now, people say they weren't drinking, they were just eating. I don't care what they were doing. They were hooping and hollering it up at Stingrays at Tybee Island. That was our show we did last week, Thursday or Friday last week. Can you
yes,
think of any other excuses? Okay, so Danny, we knew he was going to get hung up. Diana, fake nanny. They haven't accused fake nanny of kidnapping Quentin.
they will.
Okay,
They
so
will.
fake nanny's going to get it too.
She's gonna get it. I'm sure they'll find a protester or two that's gonna get it. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, whatever they can come up with, they're gonna get it.
I think so.
It's just they're. I honestly think that they're both so stupid, and that they're following the Casey Anthony trial handbook. We have a fake nanny.
Fake nanny.
We have a swimming pool that, yeah, nothing came of it, and Kaylee was dumped out in a garbage bag.
Yep, she was buried out. Actually, not that far from their house. It's actually a run with all the dogs and everything. They didn't track her scent. I think she was moved.
Yes,
I really do. I think Casey moved her. I really, really do.
I really do.
I'm just wondering, is it a family thing? How protective of Leilani is Billy? Because it's been my understanding for almost 3 weeks that there was another brother there, Paul. Are they going to start blaming Paul? Because they certainly won't mention Paul.
No, I haven't heard a word about Paul. Like, he was there that morning. He helped them look. I ain't heard from anybody. I hadn't heard anything about Paul. But I think as far as, and I mean, of course, we all want to protect our children and stuff like that. But look, you murder somebody, I'm taking you. She's raised 2 murderers. They're out they have people from Guantanamo coming in. I counted 21 one day that are in hazmat suits doing the most horrible job trying to look for her baby. And like you said the other day, no, he's not going to be wrapped up in a blanket with his favorite toy. That's not going to be the way they find it. But we all know that. But these sick people, they go to Tybee Island, just like Leilani said, or Liar said, you
Mhm.
know, hey, we got to get out of the house during the day. You know, where was Billy Ho's boyfriend slash husband slash whatever when she
He
was
has
giving out her number?
well, and I want to know he's been pretty I mean, he's been, MIA. You
Yeah,
know, he was on the news and said he's the one that said she lies all the time. She lies. She lies when she doesn't need to. You know those people that will just lie to you even when the truth sounds better. I mean, there's really never a good reason to lie. There really isn't. It's going to bite you in the ass regardless. But like this person, Leilani we're speaking about, Leilani, her I guess stepdad, Billy Joe's Facebook husband, he said she just lies all the time. Now, ever since that interview, we can't find him. So you brought up the searchers. This came out on Twitter on Friday. So they're talking about, and it's sad that they have to keep defending the job they're doing. Rowena is muted. It's really sad that the police department has to keep doubling down and defending themselves
exactly.
for the job they're doing. Look at
Exactly.
this on the screen. Okay, so they're in a landfill. You can clearly see in Tyvek suits,
Hmm.
and it says it is also dangerous. And
Hmm.
searchers are exposed to numerous and very real health and safety hazards every minute that they are working. To
Right.
help maintain the health of the searchers team, they will be standing down for 2 days. There are people that are pissed about this. They'd rather all of these people hooked up to IVs at the hospital with blood-borne pathogens.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but laugh of the ignorance of the protesters that were like, well, we'll go out and look. I'd give them 5 minutes, 5 minutes of the smell, just from a landfill, of the smell.
Ugh.
Uh, I, I don't know. I just think,
Well, I mean, not to be too graphic, let's think about what we throw away. I mentioned on the show last week how many millions of pounds of trash have gone into that landfill since Leilani, and this is not cool the way I'm saying this, since Leilani threw Quentin away.
yep.
Literally threw him away. How many millions of pounds of trash? I hate to keep bringing it up, but it has to be reminded.
And
This
I don't think you should
landfill,
apologize. I don't
this
think
landfill has daily compaction. He could have already been put under the on top of that, they bury their trash there. Go ahead, Rowena.
I don't think that that you should apologize or say I hate to say it this way. It's the truth. And I mean, you're not, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, there's a reason they're not out there for the fun of it. They came out, they said, we have evidence that he is in this landfill and we are looking to find him. We will not find him in a day. It will be a long process. Please don't don't ever like say I hate to say this when you say the truth. The truth does hurt, but maybe somebody that thinks Billy Ho and Liar are whatever. One thing what's bothered me, and I've never heard anything about it, is in the garage. They sealed up all those windows,
Yeah.
and they did the luminol. There's a reason why they did that. That wasn't just for fun. And I'd like to know. I mean, we won't know now, but I mean, one day we will. But you know, they have to know what they're kind of looking for in the landfill, and just them in that garage just haunts me. That's what that.
I don't know anything about the garage. The pictures I saw, um, is they had blacked out the living room windows, like that main part of the house we see.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it was like after those pictures came out, that was, I think, on a Tuesday. It's
I'm
amazing.
probably wrong.
No, 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 you're fine. And a couple of days later is when they had the press conference saying that they now have evidence that's led them to believe he's no longer alive, which it's amazing that they got that much done that fast because she was still, I can just imagine all the lies that we have heard, what all they've heard. So I'm going to go through some comments from the last show. You want to do these comments with me, Rowena?
I do, and I love the music. I'll just kind of dance.
Well, I know. I tell you what, Cat made this video. This is, I mean, I think this is everybody's favorite part.
I love it.
Okay, allegedly don't come for me said the live-in nanny story is sus. Gives me serious Casey Anthony vibes. Zanny the nanny comes to mind. Makes me wonder if they are trying to set something up where this pretend nanny was responsible. Exactly what I'm thinking. I about crawled out of my skin yesterday when Kelly told us that this story is circulating and that it came from Billy. This isn't a Facebook rumor. This came from Billy. Billy said she fired Diana and that she had a 24/7. I have not heard this myself, by the way. I am believing Kelly, that was going to start that morning. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you hired a live-in doctor, a live-in nurse, a live-in dentist, a live-in housekeeper, a cook, and a nanny. I don't care if you had Kanye West set up coming to your house at 7 o'clock that morning. Something happened to Quentin from when Diana dropped him off the night before and when that text went out.
I agree. And it's funny, when she was first asked, the first time we ever saw Billy was, she said, she's good, she can be good, but then she lies. I don't know what to believe. I had a little empathy. But now we're going to, why didn't she say, I, I'm not understanding what happened because I hired a live-in nanny that was supposed to be here at 6. Um, I didn't get a call from Diana, uh, until Diana's the one that made Leilani made her call 911. She's sitting there smoking a cigarette.
Mhm.
Now, uh, uh, okay, let's say that she really believed that his biological father came and took him. You would be panicked. You would call the police. She didn't. She didn't. And I guarantee you, they're going. And I don't. I would look. There's something up with Danny.
Mhm.
There's something up. He hit the road.
Well, hang on. You just reminded me of something, Rowena. Okay, so Diana has told the story multiple times about when she went to the house,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't find Quentin. She took Zane back home with her. So they still had Sky there with them.
Mm-hmm.
She was just told they couldn't find Quentin. She
Mm-hmm.
was never told that Bubba had Quentin. I have a feeling by, I'd say 10 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern time on October 5th, that the police already knew they were dealing with a liar and they already were dealing with foul play because Billy had been told that Bubba has him. The police were told Bubba has him. Yet Diana was told, you can't come in and search, we'll find him ourselves. Why didn't they tell Diana? Why did they call Diana looking for Quentin? How many people were they trying to set up? Is that what was going on? What do you think?
Oh, I totally think that. I think that they were reaching at every single person that they could. And another thing is when 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 Billy busted up in Diane's house, she didn't scream, "You have my baby." You didn't. She did that outside, and that was one of the last things she said. She, I'm t- the only thing I think Billy was mad at Diane about is because Diane told the family secrets and she told the stinking truth.
Well,
That's what I
I
think.
think so too. I think
I,
when Angel P first brought that up, and I agree with her, I think when Billy saw Diana on TV saying they texted me that morning
yeah, yeah.
and I still get the kids whether they're going to work or not, is what she said. I think when that blared across the local news in Savannah, Georgia, I think Billy was fit to be tied. Sarah Cordova said their nanny wasn't fired. That's a lie. Diana wasn't fired. She said, I don't believe a doggone thing the family says. Billy Joe lied to the court to protect her daughter from losing complete custody. Billy Joe has protected Leilani from being homeless. Billy Joe protected her daughter. Gotta scroll down. Protected her daughter from the neighbors and general public when she hired a nanny she barely knew to keep the kids from getting neglected. Billy Joe is the head of that house. That woman will help cover up anything she can and has to protect the family's image as much as she can already. Got some background noise. Billy Joe is an underwater welder. Now, I didn't know that. I knew she was a pipe fitter, but I didn't know she did that. Billy Joe is an underwater welder that makes really good money. You think Leilani would have been moved out by now from her eviction from court? Nope. Mom can't have her out there where she can't control the outcome because she didn't protect the children according to the laws, especially now that one is dead. I agree with every bit of this. I agree. Billy Joe is the head of the household. Billy Joe is on damage control. She knows what people are saying. Like I said on the show yesterday, it took a hot minute. And I know internet sleuths work fast. I know they do, but not this fast. When the local news announced Quentin Simon is missing, it didn't take long for people to come in and say, because Leilani's on drugs, Leilani's not supposed to be around her kids. One lady said, come on, people, let's be real. Billy Joe knew. They were talking personally. Billy Joe knew that Leilani was not supposed to be alone with those kids. It did not take long at all.
She most definitely knew, and that I think that it didn't come to mind that she was going to feel heat. You know what I mean? Like at first, Billy didn't realize, ooh, I'm going to get heat for this because I had custody. That's what I'm saying. I think they're just, I don't know if they passed the brain cell or I don't know if there's two and then there's four people. I don't know. But I think that Billy had to do, I agree with that whole entire statement. And I, I hope a lawyer's listening to it and he could use that statement and opening statements. But I think that's what I mean. She is the matriarch of that family, and underwater welding. Holy smash! Yeah, that's really big money. So maybe she should have hired somebody to be in there and kicked her out. But she didn't.
Well, I think that whole eviction, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and she basically um, agreed with what we've been saying. Billy said that she did that whole eviction to light a fire under Leilani. That's exactly what she said. And that's the that's what we came up with.
And
She was doing that to make Leilani straighten up. We went through the timeline yesterday.
yep,
The police were called September 7th. September 7th, there was an argument about laundry. September 8th, Billy does her "I'm going to show you who's boss" move, and she went and she filed for that eviction. They were served on the 16th, yet nobody packed a bag, did they? No. That was a power move to straighten up. That's exactly what that was. Well, it didn't work because we know where we're at now. We wouldn't even known these people existed if that power move worked. Billy, if your weird manipulations worked, we wouldn't be doing this show. We wouldn't even know you people existed. Mina said, something's been bothering me. When the babysitter first talked, she said that the morning Q went missing, she went over and offered to search. The boyfriend had the coldest look in his eyes. That's exactly what Diana said. He had the coldest look in his eyes. But then she went on to talk about how wonderful the boyfriend was. She said she couldn't really complain about Danny because he was the one that would text, do you have enough diapers? Do you have enough wipes? And stuff like that. Very different Danny that she got on October 5th. She said his eyes were cold and did not want her to come in and search. I believe, now that I think about that again, him being that freaked out, I think he saw what happened. I don't believe the story at all that he saw him all well and good snoozing away in baby dreamland in that pack and play. What do you think, Rowena?
I agree. I 100% agree. And I
Why
thought
would
about
he
that
not
too.
let her in? Why would he not let her in if he truly thought that Quentin was just had gotten out of the house?
Right,
There was something he did not want her to see.
right. I can, and that the coldness, I, to me, that would be maybe one of just complete utter shock. I can't believe what happened, what we had to do, what Leilani did, what I did, what I'm covering up, what am I going to do now, all that, and just I mean, like you said, why would let's say that she really thought that whoever got, family member Diana, whoever had him, she's sitting out there smoking a cigarette. She's not worried, but he has this cold look on his face. I I don't know. I don't know if he actually did something. I think that he saw something.
Well,
And
look
he,
at what where Summer 800 TBI find said. Maybe Danny realized this bitch killed her kid and he was
yeah,
freaked out
yeah,
instead of because we don't know, we weren't there. We're just discuss all different avenues, if you know what I mean. Maybe the cold look wasn't so much cold. Maybe it was freaked out. Maybe he was freaked out. Maybe he was, no way you're coming in here. He still didn't do the right thing because 911 should have been called the minute of. Makes me wonder if Danny was okay with the Bubba has Quentin story. That's what I'm wondering. Lisa said maybe he had a scared look instead of a cold look. Diana said a cold look. But I mean, Diana doesn't know what had happened in the house either. In shock, cold, I don't know. I don't
I
think
think
Danny needs to be 100% erased from this. I don't care what he said to his friends on Twitter that he took a polygraph and he passed. I don't care. I don't,
polygraphs are crap.
because he was there. He did not allow Diana to come in. So if he knew something happened there, he should not have allowed that search to go on all around Savannah looking for Quentin. If he was too freaked out to let Diana in the house, he should have called 911 and turned Leilani in.
Yep. And Diana even went so far as to say, "Hey, he goes in my daughter's closet all the time and plays and hides." You know, and it was kind of like, "Hey, I know you don't know shit about these kids, but let me tell you." And why wouldn't you let him in?
Well,
Why?
why is he covering for her? It
Yeah.
didn't take him very long. After that interrogation, he hightailed it to Hotlanta to play pool with his friends.
Yep.
Sky that day. He let Zane go with Diana. Sky stayed there. He didn't want Diana to come in. This is according to Diana. She doesn't have a reason to make this up. What was inside he didn't want her to see? Whatever it was, we know has to do with Quentin. We know. So was it fear? She said it was a cold look. He'd never treated her that way before. I think he already knew something very, very bad happened in that house. I think he knew.
I believe that, but I also believe he's a piece of you know what for leaving his baby girl with somebody that killed their child. He had a look. Something, oh crap, I'm covering up something, but I'm hitting the road and I'm going to leave my defenseless baby here. No.
That bothers me too. So he wouldn't let Diana come in and help search.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, one thing,
and he had a cold look on his face. But then he leaves his daughter there. So is the look, I wasn't there, I don't know the look. Was Danny's look, I'm freaked out? Oh shit, she's going to see what happened in here? Or was it an actual cold stone look? This is before 911 was ever called. He hadn't talked to anybody except Leilani, and he had called Diana to see if she had seen Quentin. Or was the look, she's not going to come in and see what I did? I don't know. We'll find out, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And one thing, it wasn't their idea for her to take Zane. Leilani had, she said, you need to call 911. Well, she kind of made her. And then when she left, she was like, y'all got a lot going on. Do you want me to, you're searching for Quentin. Do you want me to take Zane? It's not like they said, hey, can you watch Zane while we, deal with everything that's going on with Quentin because, we're worried sick and, no. Diana said, do you want me to take him because, y'all got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, but it's not like they were concerned about the older child, which I hope and pray to God that baby didn't see anything. I really do. But
well, and because I understand she's the prime suspect. I get that. That doesn't mean that they can't name other suspects later on. No one's been charged. No one's in jail. They can even turn around and say, we have new evidence now that clears her and we have a new suspect.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen because prime suspect is the one that said his daddy had him. Why on earth would Bubba, who hadn't been in Savannah, Georgia in months, at 5 o'clock in the morning decide he wants to see his son? He hadn't seen him. Let's get to that article real quick. That's a good tie-in. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is in the Daily Fail yesterday. Exclusive. She told police I took him overnight. Okay, so it wasn't 5 in the morning. She said he got him the night before. Well, Danny damn sure knew that was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Danny knew that was a lie. So when she was telling the police that and telling Billy that, why didn't Danny say, well, no, Quentin was here?
I saw him at 5:30. It just kind of shoots him. You see what I'm saying? It's like it makes both of them look like liars. Did you see him? Well, if you picked him up the night before, then that's a lie because Danny saw. they are going to put out as much false information as they can to make this the just the nightmare that it's become.
It's a nightmare. It's a circus. It's insane. Okay, so again, right there on the screen, she told police I took him overnight. She tells the police that. She told her mother that. We just, at the very beginning of the show, we're going to hear it again when Billy is saying, and I talked to Quentin's father all day. Danny damn sure knew that Quentin was not picked up by Bubba the night before. And he also had the cold look on his face and didn't want Diana to come in. I think he knows that Leilani did something. And for whatever reason, instead of speaking out, the morning of October 5th, he kept his mouth shut. That for certain. Okay, she told police I took him overnight. Quentin Simon's father reveals the Georgia toddler's prime suspect mother tried to pin the 18-month-old. See why I say daily fail? The daily fail. Quentin Simon is 20 months old. Ugh. In big bold letters, they don't even know how old he is. The daily fail. So forget the 18-month-old, 20 months old. To pin the 20-month-old disappearance on him. Him. But he says he hasn't seen his son in months. Come on, scroll. Leilani Simon, 22, is the main suspect in the disappearance of her. They say it again. All right, 20 months old. Quentin is 20 months old. I'm just going to quit saying the age. Leilani Simon, 22, is the main suspect in the disappearance of Quentin Simon, who vanished on October 5th. Daily Fail located the boy's biological father at his home. That wasn't tough, but anyway. Henry Bubba Moss revealed to Daily Mail how Leilani tried to pin his son's disappearance on him by telling the police he snatched the toddler. Now, I believe that Danny would have noticed Bubba snatching Quentin.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing they said that, okay, she is the main suspect. That does not mean only. They did not say she is the only suspect.
Well, now I'm going to say something real quick. When it comes to this publication,
I know.
we're not going to attach any facts to this or the Sun or anything like that. That's kind of the same as Facebook. He did give them this interview. So what he said, we're gonna get from that, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So far, what we know is Bubba said that she told the police he had Quentin. Danny knows that when he got home from work on Tuesday night, Quentin was there. Danny said Quentin was asleep in his pack and play at 6 a.m. that morning. The text came from Danny's phone at 5:39 a.m., so he knows that Bubba did not have him. He could have cleared a lot of things up if he had told the police that morning. Leilani tried to blame it on me, the 24-year-old told Daily Mail. I told police she's gonna hurt that baby. Bubba described Leilani as a cheater and a liar who spent her days snorting cocaine and smoking marijuana. Whew. Okay, Leilani.
Why did you not go get your son?
Yeah, I'd like to know that too. I have a feeling she doesn't make things very easy for the fathers of her sons. I have a feeling if they're not nice to her and they don't do it, I have a feeling that children are a bargaining chip for her.
Oh, very much.
FBI agents assume the boy is dead and are searching a landfill for Quentin's body. Okay, well, they've made a couple of mistakes, but we got through that. The mother, named as a suspect in the murder of Quentin Simon, tried to pin his disappearance on his biological father. Leilani Simon told police that her ex-lover, her ex-lover snatched the toddler from her Savannah home, which it's not her home. She lives there. Her and Danny are just floppers. They are adults that don't have their own home. Okay? They have a bedroom at Billy and her partner's home. Okay, from her Savannah home in the darkness of night, prompting police to track down and confront Quentin's long absent father shortly after she reported him missing on October 5th. I bet they did track him down too. You got a missing child. She says he's with the father. He snatched him. Now I want to hear more about this. I would love to know what she said to them. Because now, mind you, it's the Daily Fail, but they said snatched him. So he came in and just grabbed him and took off, and she didn't call 911 then. I have a feeling there was a series of lies before they even went to talk to Bubba. And I have a feeling before they went to talk to Bubba, they already knew what the answer was going to be.
Yeah, I do too. And when they pulled up on him and he was cutting grass, yeah, yeah, they knew. I mean, it's not difficult.
No. Daily Mail located the tragic boy's biological father at his home 85 miles away from Savannah in an exclusive interview. Bubba revealed how his ex tried to blame him for the boy's vanishing. All right, Leilani tried to blame it on me, the 24-year-old told Daily Mail in a soft southern drawl. I can almost hear it. He said he was mowing his boss's lawn when the police pulled up. They asked, did I have him? And when was the last time I was in Savannah? They told me Leilani said I came and got him overnight. Why would you call 911 and say you can't find your child if Bubba has him? They already knew this is full of shit. Danny knew it too.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they say to Diana, no, he's not missing. He's not going to be with you today because his daddy got him. That's it.
Bubba, who lives in Girard, Georgia, a rural town of 250 people, told police that he hadn't been anywhere near Savannah for a month when he installed an air conditioner in a nearby Tybee Island, where Leilani and her mother, Billy Joe Howell, were seen downing tequila shots in a bar a week after Quentin's disappearance. Okay, again, we know that's not true. We know they were doing shots. They were in Tybee Island. That was just last week. He wasn't installing an air conditioner last week, but you get the drift. He hadn't been around Savannah in a long time. Oh, jeez. Drives me nuts. Anyway, there's Leilani. There's Bubba. Oh, there's
I can't look at her.
Little Quentin. Bubba vowed he told police the truth that he was home when Quentin disappeared and that he left for work at 7:40 that morning. He said he presented alibis and that there was also CCTV footage from the next door gas station that proved he didn't leave his home overnight. At that time, it was just a missing persons case. Well, it really wasn't, but okay. He said, I told police she's gonna hurt that baby, he recalled. I said I didn't know what was going on. Hell, I haven't heard from her in 6 to 7 months. During the interview, Bubba proceeded to share his turbulent backstory with the woman suspected of killing their son. Bubba, who has 2 daughters with another woman, shocker, said he met Leilani at a swimming hole, and let's have more kids when we meet at the swimming hole, right? In 2019, Leilani had her own child, Zane. They started dating, and she became pregnant with Quentin. Because, see, Bubba doesn't know where babies come from. So when you've already got 2 with another woman and you meet someone at the swimming hole that has their child with them, let's have more. But anyway, that's what they did. She initially kept it a secret. She didn't tell me until months later that she was pregnant, Bubba recalled. I didn't have no say in it, really. I imagine he didn't.
Yep.
He said Leilani went to Alabama to give birth to Quentin in January 2021. So Bubba's name wasn't on the original birth certificate. She then returned home. He goes into, Quentin was happy, always smiling. He didn't scream a lot. He's a good baby. He said the tipping point in their relationship came in February 2021 after he was served with an arrest warrant for breaking into a trailer home back in 2020. I guess this offended Leilani. Leilani had already been arrested for the crime committed in the mobile home park in nearby Waynesboro, where she was living with her mother, Billy Joe. Leilani, however, blamed Bubba. Okay, so we see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to tell the police that he snatched Quentin. Why Danny didn't say something to the police like, no, he didn't come get him. I don't know. A police incident report obtained by Daily Mail states that Leilani allegedly cut her way through a screen window and stole $50 from a coin jar. The 40-year-old victim who owned the trailer called the cops. Good God.
Mm-hmm. It's just. Mm. But the reason why she did it's hilarious because he couldn't fit. She made her do it.
Got to be kidding me.
The ignorance.
When asked who the victim thought was responsible, he pointed out a female later identified as Leilani Simon, who lives next door and was currently standing outside. The investigator states in the report, I then spoke with Miss Simon, and while doing so, she admitted to entering the camper and taking all of the change from inside of the coin jar. She steals popcorn, she steals cigarettes, she steals lemonade, and she steals people's piggy banks. Miss Simon added that the child's father, Bubba, came over at approximately 8 a.m. today and convinced her to help him enter the camper. Miss Simon stated that since he couldn't fit through the window, she did instead. Bubba,
That blows my mind.
Goodness.
That sentence blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christina has a good point. She also asked to use spare change at the gas station. She was at the gas station many times asking people for their spare change. Raise your standards, Leilani. Just ask people if they got a $5 bill on them. Goodness. Leilani was charged with first-degree burglary, a felony. It was pleaded down to a criminal trespass. Court records show that she was given 12 months probation. Okay. I'm just going to assume that 12 months probation is what she was talking about when the police got there, September 7th, when she called the police because she was fighting with Billy about laundry. And she said, I don't want any problems because I'm on probation.
She calls about laundry,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't call about her missing child.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. I mean, there's so much.
Yep. It says she's still on that probation and another probationary period for a 2021 theft in North Carolina. Okay. Now, some people will say that her sticky fingers do not make her a murderer. I would agree if there weren't FBI agents from Quantico in Tyvek suits right now in a landfill looking for her son with all of these multiple lies that she's made up. Lie number one was that Bubba took him.
Mm-hmm.
A warrant was issued for Bubba's arrest in the Waynesboro case, but he said he didn't know at the time. Later that summer, a woman in another trailer there had her black and white Harley-Davidson wallet stolen. The owner confronted Leilani, who blamed Bubba again. I don't know. When did Bubba realize she was bad news?
Probably when he challenged her and said, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. And he left. And he should have taken his kid, but he didn't. And so she's pissed. He left. He left her. You know, they're all twisted. They're, I don't know.
Leilani stated Mr. Henry Moss had stolen it. But the report points out that the victim didn't witness the theft and no arrest was made. The property owner told Daily Mail that he evicted Leilani and Billy Joe, who was working as a union worker at a nearby nuclear plant that summer. So I would guess, boy, it's one thing after another. Leilani then moved in with Bubba in the nearby city of Hiltonia. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But their relationship proved as a disaster. Bubba described her as a cheater and a liar, a homemaker. Now, she's been called a lot of things, but not a homemaker. But
Maybe a homewrecker, but not a maker.
a homemaker who spent her days snorting cocaine and smoking marijuana. She did cocaine every day, all day, as much as she could, he said. Boy, I tell you what, somebody has to be paying for that habit. Because let me tell you what, her getting all the change from the gas station's not paying for that.
Yeah, that ain't getting it.
Leilani also exhibited a violent temper and would lash out at him when she was craving more drugs. All right, so when Jalen was on the show, and he's the babysitter before Diana that we know of,
Mm-hmm.
he talked about this, talked about her drug use, talked about how she lies so much, and he said she's very, very violent. He said she would beat her boyfriends up quite a bit. Old boy could just be laying there sleeping, and she'd come in and just start wailing on him.
Okay.
Now, don't forget, Jalen also said, Danny may not know it. This was on the first show we did about Quentin. Danny may not know it, but she's cheating on Danny right now, he said. Remember that, Rowena?
I do. I do remember that. She's never at she's one of those people that lies about anything, even if it doesn't even matter, and she never has taken responsibility for anything. It sounds like. I mean, she just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, she didn't leave to go be with another guy. Bubba left and said, you're cheating and you're doing all this, and then you've got another babysitter, and it's the same thing. I mean, I know two people can lie, but it sure is the same lie. you know.
Well,
Uh,
it's really hitting me now with, okay, Danny not letting Diana come in the house. He'd been cool. Do you have diapers? Do you have wipes? We're reading this interview between Bubba and the Daily Fail where he says she was cheating on me, always doing coke. She's violent. That's the previous babysitter told us that. And he even
mhm,
said she's cheating on Danny right now. How do
Yep.
we know that Danny did not find out she was cheating on him? We
Yeah.
don't know. Yes, Bubba, I'm going to tell them the truth, she replies. I've already called up there. They have so many different effing recorded messages when you call them. I'm going to tell them the truth that you didn't do anything. Kind of like her interview last night. She'll finally fess up, according to her. No, I don't think so. He
Mm-mm.
says, I know, but damn, you shouldn't be lying and everything else. That we be together and everything else, he snaps back, whatever that means. Then we hear, damn man, you effing my life up with this, he continues. I got locked up. I mean, it's effing stupid. Why I'm so mad, there should never been no mother effing charges, he argues. The 5-minute recording also shed light on other aspects of their relationship. At the time, Quentin was about 7 weeks old, and Bubba was still questioning whether he was the actual father. Leilani's got a lot going on.
Mhm.
We got change jars. We got a Harley Davidson wallet. Her and Billy are getting evicted. She moves in with him. Billy obviously found someone else to take care of her. Now I'm wondering if I'm even the father. You're cheating on me. This is 7 weeks after Quentin was born. I don't know about you, Rowena. You're a nurse. Every time I had a child, I was told no hanky-panky for at least 6 weeks. She's already down to business. It hasn't even been 7 weeks. I'll keep the baby and take care of him and all. So if he's mine, we're going to get a DNA test, he said. If he's mine, I would want to put his mother effing name on his birth certificate and change his last name. He can live with me. I'll do that. Put him in daycare. Whatever I've got to do, I'll take care of him. I promise you that. Okay. We know that didn't happen. Absolutely ridiculous. He then accuses her of sleeping with other men to suggest that maybe he's not the father. She said, I ain't effed nobody but Bubba Moss in 2021. The whole year, I guess. That was the year of Bubba. In 2021, she was only with Bubba, she insists. Though she'd become pregnant with Quentin the prior year. I ain't never effed Tim either. That boy's a child. Boy. The only reason I'm not in Quentin's life is because she left, he told Daily Mail. She was not welcome here anymore with all her lying and stealing. Okay, good call. I got him on that. The only reason I'm not in Quentin's life is because she left. She was not welcome here anymore with all her lying and stealing. Bubba has experienced his own trouble with the law, admitting he's previously been arrested for fighting, criminal trespass, possession of marijuana. At the time of the disappearance, Leilani was living in Savannah with Quentin and Zane, her boyfriend Danny Yunkin, Billy Joe, and her husband Thomas Howell. Billy Joe obtained legal custody of Quentin and his now 3-year-old brother Zane, but she was reportedly out of town October 5th. Well, see, there's someone else, even though we can't trust the Daily Mail, saying that she had legal custody. Goodness. Police say Quentin was last seen by his mother's boyfriend Danny around 6 a.m. It wasn't until after 9 a.m. that his mother reported him missing. Bubba said cops from the local sheriff's office confronted him later that morning. The next day, he drove to Savannah and spoke with the FBI. They wanted to talk to me, he said. They were asking me a lot more questions about her. I bet they were. He said investigators also had him take a DNA test to prove his paternity, and it came back a match. Well, thank God we finally know that. The next night, he stopped by Billy Joe's house to speak with Leilani and her mother, who were gathered in the backyard. To him, it seemed like more like a party than a time of grief. Every one of them was high as a kite and drunk as hell, he told Daily Mail. Leilani was on something. She wasn't crying when I walked up. She was laughing and having a good time with everyone. It looked like a party. I didn't tell her what the FBI told me. All I said was, how did Quentin go missing? How did a 20-month-old go walk out? She didn't have anything to say to me, he added. All she said was she was sorry and that she didn't know what happened to him. But that's all she does is lie. He said that a few minutes after he spoke with her, she cried. I have a feeling we have another Candace on our hands. I have a feeling that Leilani knows how to turn the tears off and on when need be. I also have a feeling that when Leilani is really under pressure, when she knows there's no getting out of it, that's when we see the real tears, and I bet it's hysterical tears. Authorities would later drain the backyard pool, which was full when Bubba stopped by. There's the landfill. Look at that. Look at all of that trash everywhere. Oh my gosh. Look at what they're having to go through to find little Quentin. Can you believe this? A week after the disappearance, police announced that they believe Quentin is dead and named his mother the prime suspect. That couldn't have been too tough to put together. He's with Bubba. Bubba has been nowhere around Savannah and hasn't even heard from her ass in 6 or 7 months. I am really, really curious as to why Danny allowed that lie to be told and why he didn't say anything about it. Billy has never said that Danny said, "No, Bubba doesn't have him. We don't know what happened." As the search got underway early last week, Leilani and her mother left town for an overnight stay in Tybee Island, where they were seen laughing and smiling while downing Patron shots with several friends at Stingray's, a popular bar across the street from their motel. Bubba said he's shocked Leilani hasn't been arrested. He says, "I can't believe she ain't locked up by now. She's a terrible person, and she's going to jail or hell." I have a feeling both. I have a feeling first stop is jail and then hell, because people like her do not change. He said she shouldn't be here out in society. If she didn't want him, she could have told me. I would have come and got him. Jail or hell. That article has so much wrong. Besides the terrible journalism, that article has got so much wrong in it. I don't even know what the hell to say about it. All right. So police go to his town and, of course, ask, "Have you seen Quentin? Did you go get Quentin last night?" They're looking for Quentin. They say, "You have Quentin." And it didn't take him probably 2 seconds to prove to them, as if they probably didn't already know, that no way in hell did he have Quentin. He's mowing his boss's lawn. He had no Quentin on his hip. He had no Quentin in a pack and play watching his father mow the lawn. I guarantee they already knew this before they got there. The FBI talks to him the next day. They do the paternity test. He is the father. Okay, so he is his father. We already knew Bubba didn't have Quentin, or we wouldn't be sitting here today. Here's the question. Now, this is just for Danny, and I know I've said it over and over and over again. Why did she need to call 911 if she knew Quentin was with Bubba? We know he wasn't. You wouldn't. You would call Bubba. Why did Danny allow that lie to continue? Why did he not let Diana come in the house to help them look for Quentin? I believe that Danny allowed that lie to be told. He allowed the police to drive 85 miles away to question this man, have the FBI question him the next day. He allowed that to continue. He kept Diana out of the house because he already knew that Leilani had killed Quentin. Why would Danny cover for Leilani? Why would he? I don't know. Oh, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Danny could have easily have told the police when they showed up and she started saying this story about Bubba. He could have easily said, "No, he's not with Bubba. I saw him in his pack and play at 6 a.m. this morning." That story came out later, that he was the last one to see him. Just Me said it doesn't make sense. No, it damn sure doesn't make sense. Jules said because they're both are guilty. I don't know. I mean, the police are saying she's the prime suspect. I just can't believe that Danny wouldn't let Diana come in and help look for Quentin. And that when Leilani is calling Billy saying he's missing, Bubba has him, and telling the police Bubba has him. Why Danny didn't say right then, no, he doesn't. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. One thing after another with these people. Now let's get to the interview, if you want to call it that. If you want to call it that. This, you've heard word salad, you've heard all of those terms. I don't have words for what I had to hear from Leilani and Billy last night on WTOC. Now, they hate Brett Buffington's ass with a passion because he was bothering Billy on Tybee Island. So you know WSAV wasn't about to get this exclusive. So they took their business over to WTOC. And this is what we've got.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Dawn Baker. In a WTOC exclusive, Leilani Simon, the mother of missing Chatham County toddler Quentin Simon, is speaking out tonight for the very first time since he was reported missing nearly 3 weeks ago. Chatham County Police and the FBI believe Quentin is dead and are actively searching a local landfill for his remains. Police say Leilani is the only suspect in his disappearance as well as his death. And tonight we have team coverage with our Shay Schrader and investigative reporter Max Deeknight. We begin with Shay, who joins us live outside of the Simon home. Shay, what did she talk to you about?
Leilani and I spoke about a number of things, including what she remembers from the morning she first reported Quentin missing to what life has been like as the days have gone on, still with no sign of Quentin. I talked to Leilani as well as her mother, Billy Howell, who were both just distraught over Quentin's disappearance. They say they've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quentin disappeared, but Leilani wants everybody to know that she's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quentin and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening, if that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quentin is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We just hope that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and we're hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Chatham County Police say they have no reason to believe that Quentin was abducted or kidnapped, and they have evidence that suggests he was placed in a dumpster and that his remains are in the landfill that they're currently searching.
Okay, so I played it straight through, and now we're going to go through it again, bit by bit. What does she mean? Tears to anger. Who is she angry at? Is this like with Dawn Wells and Candace, the Phantom Abductor? Somebody's feeding him right now? Maybe it's a sympathizer. We spoke about that many, many times in the Summer Wells case. There was a lady that used to come on panel quite a bit for Summer Wells, and she would say, I just know a sympathizer has gotten her. She was adamant. She even, I think at one time she said it was Robin. She knows she's angry waiting on a phone call. What the hell is she talking about? Waiting on a phone call? She's got all the answers. Now remember, oh, here's another one. I got to write this down. Over the weekend, her statement was, the FBI said she couldn't remember. The FBI said that. That is what the FBI told her. Let me see if I can find that. Give me just a moment. This was her statement over the weekend. Just so everyone knows, the FBI are the ones telling me I don't remember. This never came from me. But if they are somehow correct, I will turn myself in and I will take responsibility without a fight, without running, and without hiding. Again, I don't believe it's true, but if it is, I will turn myself in. That was her statement. What the hell? So over the weekend, the FBI told her she can't remember. Now she's saying that maybe a sympathizer, maybe people that can't have kids. People that can't have kids and they don't feel like getting an adoption attorney, in vitro, or anything like that, waiting on nature to take its course, whatever. They just came and stole Quentin. Oh my God.
Shay, who joins us live outside of the Simon home. Shay, what did she talk to you about?
Leilani and I spoke about a number of things, including what she remembers from the morning she first reported Quentin missing to what life has been like as the days have gone on, still with no sign of Quentin. I talked to Leilani as well as her mother, Billy Howell, who were both just distraught over Quentin's disappearance. They say they've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quentin disappeared, but Leilani wants everybody to know that she's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this.
Well, where else is she going to go? Unless her mom is going to give her some money or set her up in the camper somewhere. She hasn't been looking for her child. We know that. She has not been looking for her child. She never did. She didn't want to call 911. She was too busy saying Bubba had him. What did she call going to Tybee Island? $300 dinner. That was between her and Billy. I don't think Billy paid for the whole table.
I'm not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
If something comes up that I am at fault, I will take myself to the police station. On what planet does this make sense? If something comes up, like if they just happen to find something besides flying in agents from Quantico, Virginia to go through the landfill, if something other than that comes up, I'll drive down there. What is she talking about? If something comes up, listen to this.
If something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
If something comes up, and look at Billy looking at her. How is Billy why? I'd be choking the shit out of her. What do you mean if something comes up and I am at fault, I'll take myself down there? This is supposed to make everybody feel better, by the way. This is supposed to make us feel a lot better. I don't think Chief Hadley has had a good laugh in a few weeks. This might have been it. I think the investigators and the chief, when they saw this is probably the icebreaker they needed. I hope they laughed their asses off. because they have all the evidence thus far. What do you mean if something comes up? I got a lot of somethings in my pocket for you, girly.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quentin and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger.
Anger at what? Bubba doesn't have him. You lied about that. You guys told Diana not to show up. Whether she sent the text from Danny's phone or he did it. Did Danny not find it odd that she didn't want a babysitter that day? Did Danny not find it odd that Susie Homemaker was going to take care of the children all by herself that day?
The fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening. If that's even understandable.
No, it's not understandable. No, it's not. Look at Billy's face. Not knowing what's happening. They're searching the landfill. She said they've been watching the news to keep up. All right, this is what's going on. That's what's going on. If you look at the screen, all of these agents lined up meticulously, little by little, inch by inch, are going through compacted trash. It gets compacted on the truck. It gets compacted when he gets there. It might have already been buried and had to be dug up. I don't know. Little by little, any little fragment of Quentin they can find. That's what's going on. If that's understandable, Leilani, if that's understandable, that's what's going on. It's right there on the screen.
You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
See, the only phone call she's actually not going to get a phone call. She's not. When they find Quentin, when they come across any fragment of Quentin, I know that's a really terrible way of saying it, they're going to be at the door. They're going to show up and they're going to arrest her. She's not going to get a phone call. She's not. There's not going to be a phone call. This is going to be a in-person meeting for a very long time.
CPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quentin is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want.
What kind of drugs are they on? We don't want him to be found in that landfill. Well, obviously not. Well, then she shouldn't have put him there. She shouldn't have thrown him away. We want him to be happy and alive. I got to hear this again.
We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and we're hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Sick. Absolutely sick. They can't be in this kind of denial. Somebody mentioned PTSD, that they both have PTSD and they don't realize what's really going on, that they're in this state of denial. I don't think this is a state of denial. When the authorities went to Billy and said, "We have collected evidence from your home that have led us to believe that Quentin is dead. We believe he's in the landfill." She didn't text a girlfriend. She didn't text a coworker, her sister, or anything like that. She got a hold of a YouTuber that she's known less than a few weeks. It can't even be a few weeks. Tomorrow's a few weeks, and said, "Quentin has passed. It's on the screen. He's in a landfill. And my daughter done it." But she has no memory of it. Now Billy's standing there by the garage door as if this conversation never happened. How does Billy even look at her? "What's up, Rowena?"
Hi,
Is this a
sorry, I had to take a call from my dad.
That's okay.
She's
Is this
gross.
is
She's
this a
twisted.
joke? Is this a joke? Are they screwing with us?
I think they are. I really do. We want them happy. What? And I'm
Happy
gonna tell
they're
y'all
alive?
something. I, it just makes me sick. I swear it makes me so sick. I just want to throw up when I saw that earlier. But when people cry, okay, when they really cry, your nose and your eyes are all connected. Okay, if you're gonna have tears, you're gonna have snot. Not one tear ran down that girl's face. And now she's saying she hopes somebody has him that couldn't have children. What in the hell is she talking about?
Or a
But
sympathizer?
uh,
Or a sympathizer?
it's disgusting. I'm so glad I don't live in Georgia. I'm so glad I can't get there. Let's just say that. I know I'd be arrested, but and if you watch the body language of Billy, she knows exactly what happened. She knows. She probably threatened to beat the hell out of Leilani if she didn't tell her. And good, fine. They should both. I'd pay to see that. Put them both in a room. Yeah, and then
Well,
give the money to the
let's
other two.
let's rewind to the Friday after he went missing. So he went missing on a Wednesday. So that Friday before the weekend, they were yelling at each other. This might have been on Thursday night before she went to get interrogated. I don't remember now. When they're screaming at each other in the backyard, you can't even really make out what Billy is saying. A male voice comes out and tells them to quit their shit. But you hear Leilani screaming, "My kid is gone, leave me alone." So they forget all this. A lot of stuff has gone on in 3 weeks. What planet are they on? What are they taking? Are they on some sort of psychotropic something where they really don't know what's going on? What the hell? We just want him happy and alive. We don't want him found in that landfill.
I think
He might be with a sympathizer, somebody who can't have kids.
I think they definitely. I think they definitely know what they're doing. Yeah.
Mhm. Reminds me of
Yeah,
Don
that
Hill.
I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I'm so mad. Anyway,
It reminds me of Don Wells when he said, "I bet Summer is with some rich lady somewhere."
or I hope True's outside because she like.
Rowena, you're going to have to disconnect and reconnect. We had Robot Rowena. Maurice, Australia, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. We're going to have a members live tomorrow, actually. I didn't get it together last week. Wist said I saw Duper's delight on her face. I'm going to go through that again real quick while Rowena's getting connected. Hold on.
death. And tonight we have team coverage with our Shay Schrader and investigative reporter Max Deepnight. We begin with Shay, who joins us live outside of the Simon home. Shay, what did she talk to you about?
Leilani and I spoke about a number of things, including what she remembers from the morning she first reported Quentin missing, to what life has been like as the days have gone on, still with no sign of Quentin. I talked to Leilani as well as her mother, Billy Howell, who were both just distraught over Quentin's disappearance. They say they've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quentin disappeared, but Leilani wants everybody to know that she's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quentin and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening.
Okay, right there. For some reason, well, it all puzzles me. That statement. Oh my God, look at her face right there. Do you guys see her face? Oh my God. By the way, welcome Nomad Mama. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Make sure you guys check the members tab on the channel. There's a community tab. There's a special one for you guys. There is a special one for you guys. I gotta hear this again. This part really irks me.
Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quentin and the fact that he's gone.
Did Quentin never play in the backyard? The pool is in the backyard. But they're sitting in the backyard, getting high, getting drunk. Can't be inside because there's reminders of Quentin. Really? I have a video on the channel of little Quentin playing in the backyard. He's playing peekaboo with his brother. It's one of the most heartbreaking things I've about ever seen.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening. If that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and...
I just can't with these people. I just cannot with these people. Less tears, more anger, waiting on a phone call. I hope that phone call doesn't come. We hope he's not in the landfill. He's with a sympathizer. Someone's feeding him. This is ridiculous. This is just sick. Rowena, what's up?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes. What a mess.
Okay.
Yeah, not knowing when they're coming to arrest you. That is the topic of conversation. I wouldn't be surprised. These two are so codependent on each other and they're so used to getting away with shit. They probably think this is going to go away too. I hope he's not in that landfill. That's what Billy said, because I bet Billy knows that without a body, it's very, very, very hard to charge. Very hard. We say it on this channel all the time. People say, you can charge without a body. Sure you can. Sure you can, but you better have a really, really, really good prosecutor, and you better have a very, very, very smart jury, and those are hard to find, both.
And a lot of evidence.
Circumstantial, it's very hard to put something together without anything physical to prove it.
Yeah. You asked the question, like, are they just screwing with us or what? I think they totally are. I think that they want to throw as much crap out there because when it does go to trial, well, this was it's just all becomes crap. Look at Summer's case. Good Lord. And they just try to throw as much crap out there to confuse people, because they've got some people that will go to the end of the earth to stick up for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I swear that crap of her, that she wasn't crying. There, she didn't wipe a tear. She didn't have to use her sleeve as a snot rag. Nothing. And when you look up to the left,
Mm-hmm.
that means that you're lying, and you're also trying to think of what will fit the situation, what will fit your sentence. So she screwed up by saying, we just want his arms back around us and he's alive. It that he's not. I mean,
They're not pleading for him. They're not begging. They're not begging the sympathizer to bring him back.
right.
Why
You
aren't they
know,
asking the sympathizer or this poor childbearing family, this woman who can't carry babies that probably just grabbed him and are feeding him right now? Why don't they plead to bring him back? We just hope he's not in the landfill, because she knows it's very, very, very difficult to charge without a body. It sounds easy. People say it. Oh, sure you can. Sure you can. Sure you can. There's some DAs that absolutely will not go forward with the case without a body. No
I
way.
think I think they will find something. I do. I do think that they will find something. Um and I really do. I think this is going to be a slow, tedious process, but I do think that they will find something.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I think it's going to take a long time. How many nights did we watch? Casey Anthony, and that was before. I mean, every night Nancy Grace. In fact, my husband, he had to go on jury duty, and they asked him. It was some high profile case here. And they asked him, they said, "What do you watch on TV?" And he said, "Nancy Grace." And he was dismissed. He's like, "I didn't lie. So that's what we watch. But yeah, they said, "No, we're good." But I do think, I pray every day. I don't think he's wrapped up in a blanket, but I do think that they are going to find something that is going to nail her ass to the wall. I don't think it's just her. Yes, she is the prime suspect. That don't mean only. That don't mean only. And we don't know what law enforcement is doing around Danny. I
No.
mean,
No, and without Quentin and everything they need to, let's say, seal this deal, they're always going to have it hanging out in the air. Well, what about Danny? Danny was there. Danny ran off to Hotlanta. He was playing pool with his friends. It only takes one juror, just one, to say, yeah, what about Danny? You haven't convinced me Danny had nothing to do with this. You haven't convinced me that it wasn't Danny that was pissed off that she didn't even know who Quentin's real daddy was. You haven't convinced me that it wasn't Danny pissed off that he found out that while he's at work and making sure Diana has diapers, that she was cheating on him. You haven't convinced me that it wasn't Danny. They've got to find Quentin.
yep. And
You
they've
only
got,
need one.
and I think they're holding a lot close to the vest. You know what I mean? And that's cool. If it helps, you know, if it helps put her away for good,
Mm-hmm.
fine. And okay, look at I mean, it's bittersweet news about Adam being, charged, and them working so hard on uh her case, but uh, uh, I think this is going to be a long time. I don't think I think the protesters are going to go away. They're going to be tired. I think they're loving that too. I think they're 100% loving the chaos of it all.
Oh, I think so because they're chaotic people. Their life is never they're not the type of people that are happy with just a boring day. But if they're either fighting amongst each other one way or another, we get drunk and we ramp it up. I have
Mhm.
a feeling it is just such a rinse and repeat toxic environment.
Mhm.
I'm so glad that Zane and Sky are in foster care. That's a terrible thing to say
Oh,
to
thank God.
that is such a terrible thing to wish on children. I'm so glad that they're not at their home with their mother and their grandmother and whatever dad shows up or boyfriend, she's got right now. I'm so glad that they're in foster care, but really I am. I am so glad they are away from this. I really supposedly Zane's dad wants him and Danny Danny's family is trying to get Sky. You know what? Anybody that would sleep with the dogs is going to have the same fleas. Let's just give the kids a new start. Let's not even put them around people that would pick someone like Leilani. How about that?
Yeah, I agree. And I think nobody wants children to go in the system and go to foster families. There are some incredible foster families out there. When I was a kid, um, uh, my parents were a foster uh, family to a little girl here. And they wanted to adopt her. And it came down the 23rd hour, and mom changed her mind. And I guess she was better off living in an orphanage. But, you know, it, it, I think there are I think they're horrible. And I think we hear about those horrific things from foster families, and we don't hear the good either. You know what I mean? So I do think that there are good foster families. I think that Summer's brothers, um, I mean, we don't know, but some of the things that we've heard, that they're a excellent foster family. And they want to adopt the boys. I think there are good ones. I don't think there's enough. Um, and but yeah, anybody but that bloodline. you know, anybody
Well, and
with that
I'm being
bloodline.
I'm being very extreme. I really am. But there's just always going to be that threat that the people that allowed this to go on, and they did, are going to somehow get back in the mix. That's what worries me. That's what worries me. And yeah, I am being very extreme, but this is a really extreme situation. You
It
know,
is
given Zane's family a chance, well, they've had a chance.
right, and that's what I'm saying. Anybody in the bloodline, okay, like, sorry, you had your chance 3 years ago. You decide to leave him with her. Okay. Danny, you skirted up out of town, and you left your newborn uh with somebody that made you have a cold, shocked, however you want to put it, expression on your face, and you booked it out. So all that, any kind of blood, what, give these babies a new chance, give them a good life. And
Mm.
there's adoptive parents all the time that want good, uh, that are good people, that want children.
There's horrible stories everywhere. There's never a perfect system with anything, especially when something like I say just like this happens. I mean, they're going through a landfill inch by inch, piece
Hmm.
by piece. I saw a picture of a rake that looked like it had a fine tooth comb at the end of it.
Oh God.
This is so horrific and so disgusting. They're standing in front of their garage. We can't bear to go inside because it's reminders of Quentin. Well, Quentin played in the backyard. You're looking at an empty pool. You're looking at a hole in the earth. That cheers you up. You know why they drain that water. You know why
Hmm.
they drain that water, you idiots.
Yep. And that peekaboo video. Oh God. I cried and cried and cried.
It's awful. The whole thing is absolutely awful. But I really think they're screwing with this. I think they are really liking the attention.
Hmm.
I do. because some people like attention, whether it's good or bad. They'll do
She's twerk.
they'll
She
do
was twerking in front of a window. She's
yes,
twerking.
yes,
Really?
yeah. They like the attention. It is so messed up. There are people that will, I mean, even when they know they have pissed you off and you just don't feel like screwing with them, they'll just keep on and keep
Yep.
on and keep on till they're not satisfied till they get that reaction. These two are about to get a reaction because
Hmm.
I don't think that it's going to be as easy as Billy thinks.
Yeah.
I think once they investigate her and what provisions she really put together for the kids before she went out of town to work, again, there's nothing wrong with her going to work. I encourage it. I fully encourage it. We got to work. We got to work. I think she's going to be in trouble.
I think she.
I think she is. I think she's going to be in trouble down the road. We damn sure know Leilani's going to wind up in trouble. So they're going to get their attention, but they're not going to like the attention they're going to get.
I don't understand why the stepbrother quote answered questions, but all he did was ask a liar for an answer. Who believes that? I don't believe anything comes out of the girl's mouth. Either one of them. I don't.
Mm-mm.
I don't. I won't. There's nothing that they could say, unless she comes up and says exactly what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gives times exactly what happened, who was where, all that. She's not going to do that. She's not. She just wants, him to. Maybe he's alive. It just makes me sick.
No,
It makes me sick.
they're just playing games. Billy wasn't even in the state. Okay, so
And I,
we have a Don Wells in every case. Don Wells was supposedly at work, couldn't possibly know what's going on, yet interjects what he thinks happened. Okay. In the Kylie Rodney case, Jagger's telling everybody what happened. Jagger supposedly wasn't there. Billy was in Illinois. Why did she come up with this ridiculous story over the weekend that it was bath time? Martha Stewart's in the kitchen, slaving over a stove. Danny is giving the kids a bath, gets Zane out, and just like that, Quentin drowns. What Billy can't explain is where's Quentin? That's the thing. They've got excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, but they have no reasoning, explanation for why they're searching the landfill. Why won't someone ask them, why are they searching the landfill? You have all of these excuses. Bathtub, door open, Bubba, Diana, fake nanny, Danny. Why are they searching the landfill? That's all we need to know. That's really all we need to know right now.
Exactly. And like you have said, you cannot find a case of an accident where the parents did the most atrocious to the child. I can't, I even looked and I can't find one. If something happened in the bathtub, I would hope that somebody would have jerked him out, done CPR, and called 911. It's not a difficult thing. It takes. She's evil. That's all I got to say.
Evil.
And Danny's about half evil, and I want to know what the hell he knows.
I'm very confused about the whole Danny situation.
Mm-hmm.
We were told that Danny wasn't even aware that she sent the text from his phone. But then we were also told that he saw Quentin in the pack and play at 6 a.m. and Leilani was asleep.
Yeah.
What is going on here? So Danny on his own told Diana not to come over? He's going to have to get all of this straight, not letting Diana come in. Now, Billy, when Diana was doing her live, I have it recorded on the channel. You'll see Billy over on the right side of the screen when the comments started popping up. Billy was over on the side saying, you did go in and help him look. So what is it?
I don't think that she did. I honestly think, okay, she got that text. She took her daughter to McDonald's. She swung by there and offered to help. And I don't, if she had not come to that house, I don't know how long it would have taken them to call 911. And they hadn't called Billy yet either. So, what? Were we going to wait 12 hours next day?
Never,
And
never.
so
We were
Danny
just.
gives
I
you
think
this.
she was. I think between if if it is the way it looks, I believe that Danny and Leilani would have carried out the lie that Bubba had Quentin for as long as they could.
Yep. Yep. Most definitely. And like we can't imagine it, but we're not sick people like that. It's like, and that's why it's so hard. uh, just having to go through a landfill. I mean, oh my God, it's just heartbreaking. And then you're going to stand there and say, well, maybe a family has them that couldn't have their own children. I just want to slap the shit out of her, to be honest.
Well, it's disgusting. A sympathizer, and she's doing
Oh,
the best she can, her mouth moving all over the place, and Billy in that jaw going on. It's like, why did you give this interview?
mm-hmm.
This did not help you. Like I said, I hope Chief Hadley and the investigators said, you got to look at this. No, and we know that they know way more than we could ever piece together.
Exactly.
They know way
And
more
there's
they know way more than what's in the biggest Facebook group. Let me put it that way. I hope they're laughing their ass off like, yeah, she's not going to get a phone call. We're going to personally visit her soon.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I just think they're just throwing shit out in the community because they think it's funny. They're sick. They're twisted. Who goes? If anything happened to anybody in my family, and I have had things happen. I had a sister that passed away. I've had other things, and I'll be damned, I didn't go out drinking 2, 3 a month later and giving out my phone number. What the cops should have done is been sitting there, and when Billy Joe's ass got on that motorcycle, they should have whooped her and got her for DUI. That's what they should have done. I'd have been sitting there waiting.
Yeah, thankfully that was the next morning, so she was sobered up by the next morning from my understanding, and they just
Oh,
walked over there from the hotel. So
mm,
nothing like that happened. I thought that too. I thought, well, if they're driving around drunk,
yeah.
it's absolutely crazy. Well, my friend, it's been I didn't realize I kept you guys almost 2 hours. This whole thing blows my mind. We're going to go through it again though. Because, it's like we said yesterday, they're not done. They're not done. They're going to
Mm-mm,
keep up with excuse after
mm-mm.
excuse after excuse. But why are they searching the landfill? That's all they got to ask them. If I was that news anchor, do you have any idea why they flew in federal agents from Quantico, Virginia to search the landfill? Any idea? That's really what we're talking about. The fake nanny didn't happen. Mary Poppins, there
Yeah.
was
The
nobody hired.
landfill's the key. I
Why are they
Something happened. They're going to find something. Harmony's going to get justice. Quentin's going to get justice. It's just going to take a while.
It is. All right, my friend. Thanks for coming up and talking with us.
Well,
And
thank
giving us all
y'all.
this insanity.
Thank y'all. I got to get back to packing.
All right. You've got the move that'll never end. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
We just love having Rowena up, especially when she can keep a good connection. You never know what she's going to say. It's hilarious. But guys, this is beyond disturbing. I don't know what the disconnect is with Leilani saying she's waiting on a phone call. She goes from anger to tears. Anger to tears? No, she doesn't. She knows exactly why they're searching the landfill. She knows where she put Quentin. She knows what happened to Quentin. If you look at what Jaden was telling us, the babysitter before Diana, about how violent she is, then we hear it verified in the Daily Fail with Bubba saying she's a violent person. She's a violent person. If she's going to beat up on some big old boy, what do you imagine what she could do to a child? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And they're not done. They're loving the attention, and they've got more excuses to come. I'm writing them down. Let's write them all down. If you guys hear another one, send me an email. Let me know in Discord or whatever. So anyway, 2 great shows today, guys. It was great because you guys are great. That's the only reason. I appreciate everybody. Agree to disagree. Tell me what you think. We discuss it, different theories, speculation, and somehow get through these terrible, tacky ass people in all of these different cases. Absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. All right, guys, I'll see you over in Discord later this afternoon or in one of the Facebook groups. Either way, we'll continue chatting in between shows. And if I miss you in one of those places, then I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. You guys are the absolute best chat and best community on YouTube. I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye-bye.